Hello everyone, this is James, and today we're going to look at a video. It's called Can Catholic Bros Smoke Weed? And it's by Life Teen Incorporated. And they have a channel on YouTube, about 10,000 subscribers. So let's just jump right into the video and see what they have to say.
Catholic Bro Code is about to start. Catholic Bro Code is about to commence.
You know what? I'm gonna do a gag.
Bro Code is about to start. Catholic Bro Code is about to commence.
James is about to commit. James is about to commence. Yeah.
Is about to birth awesomeness. Is about to begin. Is that what he says?
Heck. Sorry, I mean, this is a side note, but who are you trying to appeal to? I mean, it's a cool intro. I like that, but I don't understand the whole bro thing, but it's cool. I mean, you got the beard going, so you're cool.
420. I get a lot of questions around this time of year, especially as the United States passes laws that legalize marijuana. So, like, if marijuana is legal and all, like, does that mean it's okay to do it? What does Jesus think about that?
I don't appreciate that voice. No one who has that kind of voice is gonna ask what Jesus thinks about that. That's not gonna happen. Anyone who has that kind of frat boy voice isn't going to go and say, what does Jesus think about that? Oh God. Let's actually get to the substance of this.
St. Paul says in a letter to the Corinthians that all things are lawful for him, but not all things are beneficial. Basically, just because you can doesn't mean you should. St. Paul gives us some really interesting knowledge here. He goes on in that chapter to talk about how we need to glorify God in our bodies. How are we glorifying God in our bodies when we make use of any sort of substance that alters our consciousness or alters our ability to emotionally feel things, to think rationally, or to act in appropriate ways? Anytime we alter our state of conscience, however small it may even seem, we close ourselves off to how God may want to work in us. We open ourselves up to making decisions that may not be in accord with the life we want to live. And we also put ourselves in a position to become enslaved by something.
You just described an average night out with alcohol. That's what you just did. If you want to talk about bad decisions, Hold My Beer is a joke that originated because beer causes bad decisions. The joke is that someone's gonna hold your beer and you're gonna go do something crazy, like light your pants on fire because it would be funny. But that doesn't happen when you smoke weed or when you use cannabis. Okay, you wanna talk about not feeling things? That's what alcohol is for. People literally say they're going to drown their sorrows away in alcohol. They don't want to feel their emotions. That's what alcohol is for, and that's what a lot of people use it for. Now, you might not use it that way, and I don't use it that way because I don't like getting drunk anymore, because I kind of grew up out of it, but that's the point. It changes your state of mind. Doesn't matter how much you drink. If you drink a little bit, you're still changing your state of mind. So if you're gonna have these kinds of standards for cannabis, you have to have the same standard for alcohol.
St. Paul says, I can do anything, but I refuse to be enslaved by anything. People can easily become addicted, and though the argument might be that, well, marijuana is not an addictive drug.
I know what he's about to say. I've seen this video a ton of times, but I could have told you what he was about to say the first time I saw this, because I hear this all the time. It might not be physically addictive, but it's psychologically addictive. Just wait.
The effects certainly can be psychologically addicting.
Kobe.
I knew a lot of people in high school and in college who, yeah, maybe they didn't think they were chemically addicted, but psychologically and emotionally, they depended on the drug to just reach a level of equilibrium.
Okay, well, your friends are dumb for smoking weed in high school, because smoking weed, using cannabis in any form when you're a child, unless you're suffering from epilepsy, is going to make your brain not develop in the way it should. And also, let's talk about teenagers being psychologically in order. What kind of teenager is able to completely function fine? I mean, drugs and teenagers, that's the perfect time to use drugs. I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying that, when you're a teenager, your body's changing, you're not sure of what's going on, and that seems like the perfect excuse to use drugs. And it's great because it puts you out of the mind that you're in, which for high schoolers is a crazy mental state. So when you're saying they didn't know who they were, well, they might not have even had to use, or you said that they had to use cannabis to reach an equilibrium. Well, I don't know. Show me a teenager who has equilibrium. It's not very common. They're kids who are fine, but I could show you probably 50% of a classroom where kids aren't at equilibrium. It doesn't mean that they're using drugs. It just means that they're kids. You can't talk about the drug in general as a bad thing when proponents of recreational use like myself are arguing that it's for adults. It's for people 21 and over. We don't want your high school friends to have it. In fact, legalizing it will make it harder for them to get it. There's no damage and there's no addiction that can happen for adults. Whenever people talk about addiction or they talk about IQ points being lowered, it's always in teenagers. I mean, it's never adults having their IQ points lowered or adults who are suffering from brain damage or addiction or whatever.
And that's something that can happen depending on your history, just with a couple hits of a joint or with prolonged use, but you don't really know when it's going to happen because you can't tell that it's happening.
What do you mean you don't know it's happening? People, like, do you think marijuana is like a drug that'll just creep up on you one day and just grab you and choke you? No, if you use it, you're gonna be fine. I think you should use it. You might want it. It might be good for you.
Ask yourself this: if you were going to walk through a field that was lined with bear traps and you didn't know where they were, would you venture out into that field even a little bit, even a couple steps, just to say, well, maybe I won't hit one if I walk a couple steps in? Of course not, especially if you didn't have to. You would just avoid that field. This is a minefield, like any sort of substance and any sort of addiction can be.
Any sort of substance, like legal alcohol. I mean, I'm looking at the beard, and there's no way you're completely dry. You could be. I shouldn't judge because I haven't used cannabis in a very long time, despite the beard and despite what my channel is and what I stand for. I could pass a drug test right now. It's been over half a year since I last used, so it's not addictive. Okay, let's just look at myself. It's not addictive. Dude, come on. If it were addictive, I would be smoking right now. For a while, for nearly a year, I was using heavily, because I could. That's where I was. I didn't need to be able to pass a drug test. I didn't need to be able to, I had free time. I had plenty of free time, and I had, my work life allowed me to do that. Now I have more responsibilities and I don't have as much free time right now.
So this 420 week, as people start to ask the question, just because I can, does that mean that I should? You can answer no. Not all things are beneficial. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that it's good for you, and it doesn't mean that it's going to make you holier. And as a Catholic bro, that's the question you need to ask. Not what can I get away with and is it legal, but what can I do to become a holier person? And are there things that I should try to avoid so that I don't fall into a pitfall and a trap that prevents that goal?
Okay, well, I hope that the next time someone offers you dessert, you say, no, I'm not gonna do that. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. Hey, do you wanna go watch a movie? Nah, just because I can doesn't mean I should. Do you wanna have a quick beer? Nah, just because I can doesn't mean I should. You can say this for almost anything. There's always some negative to enjoying your free time or, using your adulthood as an adult. I don't know who needs, what's so bad about cannabis? It's not addictive. It's not psychologically addictive. It's not it does. There are no health risks unless you're smoking tobacco with it. There's no. I mean, come on, like what's the problem? You're not getting drunk off of it. It's not like every time you take a dab or you eat a cookie, it's not like you're going insane. You know, what happens is you sit down and you watch some TV, or you know, in some cases you go to the gym and work out. I have friends who lost one of my friends lost over 100 pounds with cannabis because he hurt his back and he was fat, and he went to the gym. He started going to the gym because he used cannabis, and he would go to the gym, and it was able to relieve his pain, and he could work out, and it motivated him despite the stereotype that cannabis users are unmotivated, and he was able to lose over 100 pounds, and now he's looking to get into the industry by using cannabis to help out people who are overweight, and he's trying to start his own program. So this whole idea that cannabis is some boogeyman is ridiculous, and I don't understand how you're so young and how you have this mentality of a 85-year-old. You know, did Anslinger visit you from the grave? Like, is that something that happened? Because this is like an Anslinger mindset. But
just because you can do something doesn't mean that it's good for you, and it doesn't mean that it's going to make you holier. And as a Catholic bro, that's the question you need to ask.
I don't think bro should ever be associated with holy. I'm just saying. Bro just sounds like rape culture to me. I just said rape on YouTube. You can't tell someone that they're not being holy because they're doing something that you personally won't do. I'm not saying you have to use cannabis. In fact, if we were hanging out together, and I'm sure you're a cool dude, so I mean nothing personal. But if we were hanging out together and I was smoking a joint, and it was making you uncomfortable, I wouldn't smoke it in front of you. In fact, I wouldn't even be smoking it in front of you. I would ask you first if that's okay, if that's something you're okay with. And if you said, nah, I don't really want, I don't want to get anything in my lungs, or I don't approve of cannabis, I'd be like, okay, whatever. I won't smoke it in front of you. I'll just put it away. I'll do something else. I'll have a beer with you. I mean, all joking aside, it's well produced. It's better produced than my videos. I'm a little bit jealous. We both have the little microphone going, but I thought we had the same microphone, but we don't. You have a better looking microphone. So, I mean, there's that. We both have the beards going, and I mean, these are Method 7 growers glasses. They're gonna look a little bit weird because they're not really meant for ordinary use. They're meant for LED grow room solutions. So yeah. Well, everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. So stupid. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is Canada James, and if you liked the video, leave it a like. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you hate my face, leave a comment, and will see you guys next time. Be well.
Birth awesomeness.
That's weird. I mean, I don't care how many times I've seen it. It's weird every time. I still have to ask this. Who are you trying to appeal to in these first 10 seconds? I don't know if your bros are 12